Hey there guys, thanks for joining us on another board game night. Tonight we're playing Arcane Academy from IDW Games. This is designed by Eric Lang and Kevin Wilson, two of my favorite designers, or really solid designers. With me tonight I have Tony, Martin, Mick, and myself, Jason. Right, so we're going to give you an overview of this game. We're going to explain some of the rules. We're going to basically, you have enough to understand what's going on, and then we're going to show you some gameplay where we play a couple of rounds and you can see how the game flows. And then we're also going to, at the end of the game, we'll give you our verdict. So what we thought of it, how we thought this game went, etc, etc. So to begin with, each player has one of these called a slate, which is your player board basically, with some player actions on them. I'll explain them in a second. And we start with 3 assignment cards that are randomly dealt out from the deck. We also have 3 massive shard crystals, and we have a wheel with 3 will on it.
Wheel of will.
That's right. So that's what we start with. The idea behind the game is we're a couple of wizards that have gone into this realm between realms, and we are competing with other students in the school to become the sort of champion wizard, a la Harry Potter style thing. So the first person to complete 8 assignments. Now assignments could be either these red ones, which are items, or these blue ones, which are spells. As soon as someone's completed 8 of them, they will take the pencils down card, and then everyone will get one more go, and then the person with the most victory points is the winner. Victory points are gathered from cards that you have. These green symbols here, this octagon, explains how many victory points you get, and then of course you get victory point tokens from various cards or abilities. And that's pretty much the basics of it. Gameplay wise, your turn is very simple. There's a little reference sheet that you can have a look at. So on your turn you either cast or rest. To cast, what you do is you take you'll take one of these, an exhaustion cube, and place it on one of your areas to do something. So for example, if I place it over there, this is take a new tile from the center, which could be one of these tiles spread around here, and then you add it to your slate to give you more actions for the future. What you're also trying to do is link up these little octagons together to form better actions. So for example, if I took this and linked them up like that, and I did this action, I could choose, because it's a slash, I could either gain one of the shards or a will, and I could also gain a will or a shard from this action. You can't gain bonus actions from areas that have exhaustion on, so you've got to think cleverly how you're going to manipulate the tiles to gain the most actions, because once you can't take any more actions, or you don't want to, you can then do what is the rest phase, which is remove all the exhaustion cubes from your board. And that's pretty much it.
It also only triggers adjacent tiles as well, so it's not like you can make a massive chain.
Yeah, you can't make a big
5 things.
daisy chain.
Well, you can trigger 5 at best.
You can also replace these ones, except this one here, which has the complete assignment card. You can only replace this one once you have another assignment tile on the board. Because if you complete that, well, you can't win the game anymore, because you can't complete any of your assignments. And that's pretty much it. Every time we buy tiles from here, they'll get replaced with new ones. When we buy assignments, we get replaced with new ones. And we keep going around. Pretty quick game until someone's built or done 8 assignments. And then we go for points. So.
And the points are just on the cards? Or?
Yeah, and whatever green tokens you can get from abilities.
Items and stuff, isn't
and the things do different things. Like some of them might give you a one-off ability like the spells do. Or the items will give you ways of recursing more and more victory points. So if someone's got a really good combo going, you might want to end the game quicker so that they don't score a lot of points, etc. like that. Okay, so we're going to get started, and we'll come back to you in a second with the gameplay. Alright, welcome back to the gameplay turn. We've had a few rounds, and we've added a load more tiles to our slate. I'll show you. Have a look at mine quickly. So I've added, obviously you can see 5 new tiles. I added a double shard over there, shard and a tile, another card one, and a couple of those are there. I've played 2 assignments already. I've got an item, the Braces of Division, which is not likely to be used much because I've played a Time Dilation, which is a really good card, but it gives me 5 victory points for 7 will, and gave me another turn and cleared my board. These are what the other guys look like. So Mick has got a few new tiles.
Struggling.
Martin,
Tiles.
Chaos Gods, and Tony.
Masterwork tools, which means I can use will to pay for items to replace shards.
That's pretty good. What was your spell that you played? I don't even remember.
The energy burst from here.
Yes.
That's all I've done.
Removed a counter. An exhaustion counter.
Okay, so I'm the first player. So, to show you, I'm going to basically exhaust one of these tiles and do an action. What that action is yet, I should have probably paid attention to it. I'm going to... I don't know. I think I might go for...
We should put some elevator music in.
Yeah.
This is what we have to put up with every game as well.
I'm gonna go there. So you can't even see that. So I'm gone there. So I get 2 red shards added to my supply, and I also get, because it's linked directly adjacent, I get to get a new tile. And unfortunately, the tiles, this is why I was ooming and ahhing whether or not these 3 are exactly the same. They're not terrible, but I don't really want them. This one is for me the best tile, but I don't really
have a
great place to put it.
I actually think these are not bad for you, to be honest.
No, they were.
I mean, because you've got an item that can get those tokens as well.
So I'm thinking I might put that there.
Bugs me.
Why?
Well, you could have put it here with the T in that way, and then you had 2 open channels, and nothing would be wasted.
But that's good for us.
So
Well, yeah, it doesn't affect us at all, really. But
they get placed over there, and that is my turn. So it goes to Tony.
Okay. All I'm going to do is get myself a shard.
I am going to use that. So I get a shard and a vil. And then I get to activate anything adjacent to it that doesn't have an exhaustion. This one does, sadly, but this one, I'm going to cast this harvest. So it costs me 4. And it'll give me 4 shards.
And was it 4 victory points?
4 points.
Nice.
And then a new one comes out. The new one is refine. Put 1 prestige token on each of your items. So that's the red ones. And it goes to Mick.
I'm going to rest.
Rest, so you get to remove all your shit. Then it goes back to me. I am going to... I had an idea. Oh yes, that's what I want to do. So I'm going to go there, I think. Yes. So it gets me a shard. So I got 5 now. And then it also gets me a will, which puts me on 2. And then I can... That one's... already exhausted, so I can't use that one, but I can use this one, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to play Froststorm. Cost me 2 will, so I zap that down to 0. Each opponent must choose one of the unexhausted tiles and exhaust it.
My tiles are exhausted.
I'm in that bag of old shit in the corner.
I'm going to wipe the slate clean.
Alright, so he's resting. Take it, you going to rest?
Me?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to use that, and I think I'm going to cast this one.
It's definitely doing that if you haven't.
So immediately perform 3 chaos magic actions as though you are activating tiles showing that icon, which is basically this. That's any 3 icons.
So the tile again? So the tile.
Oh, that one.
The chaos eye, yeah.
Chaos one. Does that card get filled straight away?
No, it's the end of your turn.
Are you sure?
We could double check.
Because
yeah, just to clarify, these don't refill until the end of the turn. It's something we should be doing, especially for a video, is that when you get these new tiles, you only place them on your board at the end of the turn, not during your turn.
indeed. Okay, so as you'll recall, it's been about half an hour for us, but
which is at dinner.
yeah. So I immediately perform 3 chaos magic actions. So that's any of the 5 possible actions.
Yep.
Yeah, any of the 5 possible actions, which is gain will, gain shards, do a card, or play a card, whatever. That item one, whatever that is, or play a tile. So I'm going to play a tile, or get a tile. So I'm going to get that chaos one. I'm going to get another tile, that one, and I'm going to play a card, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. I'm going to do that one. The synchronistic sculpture.
I would have loved to go with that one.
Shush. So at the end of the game, it's worth +1 prestige for every completed link between 2 tiles on my slates. So basically every single hexagon, complete hexagon. So that's the end of my go. So I'll place these down.
Alright, and then we refill with the energy burst and judgment spear. And 2 more tiles. Ooh, another chaos icon. Do you know what you're doing, Mick?
No. Well, I was waiting for the tiles to come back down. I wasn't oh, is that a chaos one just come down? Right, so I'm going to trigger this one. So I'll take that chaos tile, gain the 1 shard and the 1 will, and I shall place the tile.
God damn it, Mick, I just wanted that.
He did it on purpose. He winked at me when he played it.
Chaos,
What's this? I'm going to screw him.
chaos wink. You done?
Yeah.
Right, over to me. I had a really interesting idea, Mick, and now you've ruined it.
Good.
So,
Always nice when that pans out that way, isn't it?
You know that.
I'm going to go over there, which gives me a shard and a will. It also allows me to do one of these activate actions, which I can't do because I'm pretty sure I don't have the lowest.
You've got 8. No. Mick's got 1, so yes. No.
So I can play a card or play a card.
Or and, in fact.
So I am going to do a couple. I'm going to do this
It's
one.
interesting as well because I wonder how you're doing points because you don't want to play too many cards necessarily. Because
Yeah.
at 8 cards, the game's going to end.
And you
That's
won't be able
annoying. I
to
wanted to play that one as well, you dick.
and I'm going to remove this one. And then I'm also going to spend 6 shards and play the Apothecary's Elixir. Elixir.
Elixir, yeah.
So that's quite good. I like it. Whenever another player rests, I remove all exhaustion tokens from my slate.
Oh my god, that's nice.
Oh my god!
I thought that was pretty good.
That's amazingly good.
Now, as you can see as well, I've got 3, 4, 5 assignments, so 3 more, and the game will end. And then,
It will be rooted grass.
New card.
so I've done all 3 of those tiles there. So we get a new card out there. I get a new card in hand,
She is a fate.
and it moves on to Tony.
Okay. Bubble. Play a card. Gloves of the Stolen Dreams. Using my masterwork tools, I can spend willpower instead of shards. So I'll spend 2 willpower and 2 shards to get the Gloves of Stolen Dreams, which means whenever any player rests, including you, I gain 1 will and 1 shard.
So when we rest, he clears his board and he gains a load of stuff. What we want to do, we need to synchronise our rests basically so they don't benefit.
Combined.
Or he will, whatever. I don't know what I'm going to do, if I'm honest. That's good. Quite like that. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going 2 will. It's me.
Mick.
So I'm gonna gain a tile to this one's do this one.
Okay, new tile comes out. Ooh, it's a nice one. Alright, I I'm going to activate this down at the bottom here. So this one's obviously a slash I can choose. I'm going to choose the will, and then I get another will over there, so it puts me up to 3 will, and I get to choose a tile. You damn right I'm taking that one. And on my board, I could put it like that.
Interesting. I don't know how good that one is for you now.
I know, but I like it nonetheless. I might actually cover up that one.
I'm at the point where I think I might cover that corner one up now.
Yeah, I'm going to cover that corner up. And that's me done. New tile come out for Tony. Douche.
I'm going to activate that one
That's pretty cool.
to give me a will, which I'll take another will from the one next to it, and I'll take a tile.
Obviously, we're playing free and loose here with placing and refreshing and stuff. Another chaos tile.
Yay! Oh.
Yeah, that should have set at the side before I put it on there.
Okay. We know.
I think. I use my chaos one here. I think I'm going to take you. Okay, I'm clearly not using that, so I don't have anything. Well, I've got 2 will, that's it.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
But at the same time,
Is that all your shards, Nick?
yeah, I've got 6. Yeah.
Seems like you could play something decent.
If I had something decent in my hand to play,
No, you've got these 2 as well, but they are fairly shit, I think.
Yeah,
Actually,
they
they're
are.
not shit. I mean, that's 3 points for a start.
well, I'm going to take that. Oh, it should be on the magic. I'm going to take that. So, I don't know how useful that'll be. Probably rubbish, but you never know.
Alright, I'm back
So,
to...
hang on. You get to activate that then as well, don't forget. Are you activating that? Don't forget you can play any of these.
And obviously you can spend your will, which is on 8.
Yeah.
You got like resources up the wazoo, man.
I'm going to spend. I'm going to use that.
Yeah.
Spend,
No. You've used that. It triggers.
spend 3, and that removes all exhaustion slates at the end of your turn.
Cool. And now this gets put down.
Okay, cool.
Wherever you want it.
There it goes. And so now these get removed, yeah?
That annoys the piss.
Nice, Mick. Good job. Now it goes back to me again. And while I was looking at the other guys, I wasn't actually planning my turn, which might have been folly.
Stupid was the word you're looking for, Jason.
It's not true. Okay. So I'm going to go there, which, again, you can't see, but I've gone down in the corner to my newly acquired tile, which gives me a shard, and it triggers that, which, it also gives me a new thing, which I'm going to take this chaos tile and put it over there, which obviously doesn't trigger yet, and I get to play a card, which will be Kinetic Siphon. So it costs me 2 will, goes to there. Each opponent loses 1 shard and 1 will, and I gain 1 shard and 1 will. So I go with 1, and I get another one of these. And that is me. That is also another round. I've got 6 cards, or 6 assignments
He
played
has had
now.
1 more turn ahead of us, though.
Yes, because I'm the first player, so everyone...
Yeah.
2 technically because of his free turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, free
Now
to
we get
yeah.
your new card.
I will do that, yeah. So basically you get the gist. We keep going around until someone does 8 of those cards, and then we count up the victory points. So let's get to that. Alright, the game is done. We've tallied up the points, and in turn order as follows. Mick in last place with 8, was it?
Yeah.
Yep. And Tony, you got...
Only not in the usual last place because mix it.
Yeah. Now what you got? 9.
9.
Alright, and then it comes down to I ended the game because I did all 8 cards, and I finished off with the last turn of the game as well, and that put me on 25 points.
And you had 2 more,
3.
2 more turns.
3.
3 was it?
Well, because I had a card that gave me a free turn as well.
Yeah, and you had one extra one on top.
Well, you can gather by our conversation then that Martin won. He's got 28. And I was saying just before the camera came on, there's like one card he got. Show the card quickly. The one that gives you...
It's called Synchronistic Sculptor. And it basically gives me... It's worth one extra point for each kind of link. So basically completed hexagon or whatever between them. So I bought that card and then spent the rest of it trying to link up hexagons to give myself more points.
Which is nuts, because that's like, what was it, 12 points for that card?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, that card would have given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 points. So it's a massive card.
It was worth 12 extra
even
points.
something like me who weren't doing well, I still would have got 8 from that card.
Yeah, so it's a massive swing, that card.
Plus the 2 from itself as well.
But there you go. So we have finished. Nice quick game, other than lunch break, dinner breaks in between. What did you think, Martin?
I think it's quite good. Problem-wise, I think I don't like the fact that the person... So, in this game, Jason was first player. And then he was the first to hit his 8th card, which you would kind of expect, because we're all getting the same turns, essentially. And then you play the pencil down and everyone gets one more final go, including the person that took that card. So he actually had one extra go on top of us, and I'm not a big fan of that. I don't know why it's just not an equal number of turns.
Yeah.
Why not just have it everyone left to go, you know, because you've got the first player marker. That first player marker is redundant. You don't need it.
Well, that's
also,
true.
could you imagine if he had that card? If he'd have got that one out, gives you an extra turn at the end of the game.
Oh, man, jeez.
Oh, Jesus, that actually might have done it then as well. Anyway, but other than that, I think it's pretty decent overall. There's quite a lot of, I guess, tactics. It's not so much long-term strategy because, I mean, you get your 3 cards in your hand, and, I mean, I've still got 2 of the ones I started with. And in fact, I started off with 2 harvests, which were gain 4 shards, which is basically my battle plan was to game wheel, turn into shards, buy equipment cards, and that was basically as far as I got. But yeah, there's not a lot of long-term stuff. It's more what's on the board or what's in my hand, and just play for that, really. But there's cards out there that kind of affect end-game scoring stuff, and that you can kind of tweak your game based on the equipment you've got. And yeah, this kind of puzzle's quite interesting as well. You know, where to put the tiles and just growing out.
That's probably the most
exponential kind of powerful.
That's probably the most interesting part about this game, really, is that tile placement.
Oh, vastly, yeah, because it's not only of I want a new tile because they give me new powers, but it's where do you put it?
So you can get the most out of it.
What you don't want to do is have an action next to the same action too many times, because, you know, play a card next to play a card next to play a card. You're probably not going to have enough to play all those cards.
Yeah.
I mean, I actually ended up with that, but I covered that up at the end just to get some more connections. That was the only reason I won more point, essentially.
Yeah.
That was the only reason I did it. But otherwise, I would never have done that, because that would have been play a card with play a card, play a card, or play a card, play a card, play. It's too many. You know, you have to kind of think about that slightly long-termish. But yeah, I think it's pretty decent overall. I don't know how long that was. Hour maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. And it's not overly complicated.
It says 45 minutes on the box, which is roughly about what did we play.
Might be right, yeah. And I think it's probably a 7 out of 10 game. I think it's decent.
Yeah, I think for myself as well. I mean, the components are pretty decent. I love these little shards, and the artwork on the cards are really good. I don't like the slate board. It's very thin and flimsy.
It doesn't do a lot though. It just sits there. I don't know why they've done it double-sided and yet they're identical.
Yeah, I thought this is the whole. The thing is that this is the whole point of the game. This is the crux of the game, and it's the worst component in the game, which is weird. I think there's quite a lot of like options as well. Like for example, I went for a couple of things towards the end of the game here, which give you victory points on your item cards, which is an interesting way of scoring cards, because you can go quick and just get a load of quick, cheap cards if you're lucky, or you can go like long term where the other guys were doing. So it's a pretty solid game, I think. Decent components, good artwork, quick playing time, interesting decisions on the slate board. That's probably the best thing about it. And I know there's an expansion for this now, while I was looking at it today. So I'm definitely going to be looking to try and pick that up. But I agree, I think it's about a 7 out of 10 game. You can have a look at the box, Arcane Academy. What did you think, son?
Yeah, enjoyed it. Good game. You know, not excellent. Can't really add anything more than you guys have pointed out. I'd give it a 7 as well.
Yeah, it's quite straight down the middle, isn't it? It's not inoffensive.
Yeah.
It's got some good
still building
decisions.
combos with the cards, doing your little slate bit to get the best combos and powers out of that. Yeah.
Maybe the balance on some of the cards might be a little off. Like for example, this card is really freaking good as well. The thing that every time someone rests, I clean my board, which means I never have to.
But as we pointed out, for 3 more shards, I gained 9 more points or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
Or in fact, more than that, wasn't it?
So that's interesting. What about you, Mick? What did you think?
I definitely would play it again.
Did you say wouldn't?
Would.
Oh.
Yeah. I definitely would play it again. And I think sometimes with these games, you know, it's very little bit of luck. You know, where if you can see the card you want and you just can't get it. Everyone's playing with the same situation, so I know everyone can miss out.
To a degree, you've got those 3 cards in your hand, which I think are the thing that almost can...
A surprise element. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you might start the game with 3 bags of shit.
Yeah.
And someone else gets really good, and every time you play one, you're replacing it as well. So you do have that luck element in there.
But also
yes, you can play from those, but
Yeah.
anyone can play from those. You could be saving up for a specific card there,
Yeah.
and some asshole buys it the turn before you get it, and so it's completely balls up your. So
But
you're gonna hinge on.
your resources aren't going to waste though, because either of those 2 resources will still pay for any other card.
Granted,
Yeah.
but if you're planning your strategy on that, you really need to base it on the 3 in your hand. If the 3 in your hand are weak, then you're at a disadvantage straight away.
I mean, I had 2 that would help clear exhaust, and I think they were really good, you know, on that basis. But compared to some of the cards you just showed,
Well, the one that he got,
yeah,
where when someone rests, you clear your board of exhaustion counters, is so good because you never need to rest again.
exactly.
Tony had something similar, which was
He gained benefits from it.
Gloves of Stolen Dreams, so when any other player, including myself, rested, I gained a shard and a will.
which is
But
pretty
I
decent.
I was trying to work a willpower type machine, because I had the masterwork tools where I could swap will for shards.
It's a shame we didn't have this one, the doubling cube.
Yeah.
Each prestige token on the chosen item is worth double the prestige.
Well, I was starting to try and get an engine because there was a refine spell out there, and I was trying to
I put one on each.
The problem
I
is...
was trying to get 3 items, then put
Loads of counters on
prestige tokens, then prestige tokens.
The problem is it's a race game,
It is
and
a race.
Jason
It took too long.
through I don't know, it was good play, luck of the draw, combination of the 2, whatever. You basically sped through some early cards to force. I mean, I could see that coming because you were getting. So I was basically playing cards. Whereas, because I've played it before as well, let's not forget, whereas these 2 haven't, so they might not have seen that possibility
I mean,
coming.
it's like I didn't know if this would be any relevance as well. I just took it because it had the four-way. As it turned out, it was never going to be any use to me, even if we'd have gone on for another 4 rounds, I reckon. I wouldn't have had the card to be able to use it. That's something I'll learn for next game. So, in a minute, for me, I had a little bit of frustrations during the game, which I don't always see as good, but I don't think it was a bad game. So definitely would play it again. I'm almost 99% sure that I would have a different experience the next time as well. So it has got stuff going for it, but on one-off playing experience, and I know every game you need to know something about them to be able to use the the mechanism better. Others put you on a back foot a little bit more than some, and I feel this was one of them for me.
But I mean, basically have a learning curve in it.
It's one of those games.
Well, it might not be a coincidence that the 2 people who haven't played it before were...
Didn't make double figures.
Yeah. I mean, we thrashed them. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Well, also on the flip
Not that
side,
I've played for like 18 months or something, so I don't think I'm playing it every week like tournament level or anything.
No, that's right.
But what's interesting point is that I think you said it off camera, is that you've played this 3 times and won all 3 games.
Yeah.
So clearly there's more than just luck to it.
The word you're looking for is you're awesome.
Yeah. I am awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, so on one-off game, I would give it a 6. I'm sure I will enjoy future games, and I definitely would give it another go.
Mm.
So there's no question about that. I just feel just this one-off play. I just felt slightly frustrated and missing out on things that that could definitely have done it for me. But any game, I suppose, can have them sort of moments.
That's a good comment. Yeah.
But to mitigate that a bit, it's quite good that it's an hour-long game.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And you don't.
If that, to be
Yeah.
fair, it
That-
might not even be
And
an
the
hour.
speed definitely
You-
helps it.
You know, that speed helps it.
Yeah.
You know, you don't. You know, I
Yeah.
could see that inexperience was playing against me there, but
Yeah, I mean, one more go instead of that one, I would have got a 10-point card out.
yeah.
But if he'd have hung on one more go, so and maybe I might have felt it slightly different because actually I had worked to something and achieved it, so it might felt. That's why I feel it will be different next time I play it.
I was tempted to go for another round because I was kind of looking, thinking I knew Martin had that big scorer, and I was thinking the only way I can beat that is to get quickly through and score before he does. But if I stayed for another round, then he can score more stuff as well. So I don't know. I just went for a quick finish.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I definitely went for the wrong tactics. So I mean, it's not the game that made me lose. Obviously, I didn't do the right.
No, it's
tactics.
just you.
Yeah. So,
Well, there we go. That's pretty decent scores, I think. 3 7s and a 6 for Arcane Academy. Well, it's got good pedigree as well. Yeah, Eric Lang, Kevin Wilson. They don't really make many bad games. Good game for IDW to have on their library. And
Well, they're prolific designers.
oh yeah, that's,
I think there are some people that really don't rate them, but they're quite Ameritrashy, generally speaking, aren't they?
yeah. Well,
It's
this
weird because this isn't really,
No.
is it?
I mean, even theme-wise, I don't think the theme is that close to what we're doing. You know, this little slate thing that you're doing is, I suppose, representing your spells, and
spellbook.
yeah, maybe.
What do you think of the because obviously there's several cards in here which are just perpetuating your own game and gaining experience and gaining points and whatnot, and there are some cards that are actively attacking other people. I do this, everyone loses stuff or things like that. What do you think of? Do you think they fit in this, or?
I think in a race game, it's always good to have those type of things because you need a way of stopping someone or slowing someone else down. You know, if someone gets in the lead and it's in a race game and there's no way of catching up, then you're just basically playing for
Yeah,
second.
I mean, you stop people by taking will off them. You close to the end. I think you had on 2. You was on 2 will because of your cards. If someone had managed to play that card, they might have knackered your last turn up.
Yeah, which would
Giving
stop
them
me
an extra
from.
go. I know you didn't ultimately win, fine, but it was a high potential that you could have won that turn.
Yeah,
It didn't seem a bad shout to me when you actually ended it.
yeah, because I only lost by 3 points.
Yeah.
Like 3 points is
And I think
basically
that
one
tile
card.
probably did that for you. It was certainly.
That one?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Although
12
I
points.
think we forgot something as well because there is a way you can discard assignment cards and tiles, and I don't know how. I can't remember.
Oh yeah, there is. I think. Well, I have to check that.
Bummer. Because I've just read a card. It says gain +1 prestige for every discarded assignment card and tile. It's worth 0 as well. So
Oh, that was a really good one. I've seen someone. I think you won with the last game with that, with loads of cards being discarded.
yeah, but I can't actually remember how you discard them.
This is what happens when you play games long
Maybe it's
between.
instead of a West turn.
Yeah.
No, I don't think it's instead of.
Well, there
I
we
think
go.
it's when you rest.
That's our review of Arcane Academy from IDW Games. If you like it, go check it out at your local game store. I'm going to go look for the expansion because I think it will play nicely for a few more times with an expansion. Expansion will add more stuff to it, so that's really good. All right, let's go play something else.